This is a story from Japan. There was a woodcutter and his wife, and the woodcutter cut wood and he sold it in the marketplace, and with the money he fed his wife and himself. But they were very poor. One day the woodcutter went to market with his bundles of wood, and at the end of the day he had one bundle left. And walking back to his house, he crossed over a bridge. Underneath was a fast-flowing river. And the man thought, I have no need to weigh myself down with this bundle of wood going home. We live in the forest. And so he threw that bundle of wood into the water, where it disappeared with a large splash. In a trice, on the opposite bank, there was standing a beautiful young woman, and she held by the hand a hideous little boy. He was scruffy, he was filthy, he was barefoot, dirty-faced, and there was green snot pouring out of his nose. He was a truly revolting little creature. The man crossed the bridge, and the young woman bowed to him, and she said, My father, the king of the river, thanks you for your gift of the wood, and in return he gives you this little boy to take care of. You must take him home, and you must feed him with fish pickled in vinegar, and then he will reward you. Well, the old woodcutter looked at the disgusting little boy, and the disgusting little boy looked back at the woodcutter, and the snot dripped from his nose onto the ground. But what could he do? The girl held the boy's hand out, and the woodcutter took the child's hand, rather unwillingly, by the fingers, the tips of the fingers, and he led the little boy home. His wife was horrified when she saw the child. Where did you get that creature? She asked him, and the woodcutter explained. All the time the boy just looked at him with his big, sad eyes, and the snot dripped from his nose onto the floor. Here's a gift. Here's a gift from the king of the river. What was I to do? Refuse him? I'm told that if we feed him pickled fish, then we will be rewarded. Oh, very well, said the old woman. And she went to the back of her store cupboard and found some pickled fish, which she gave to the little boy. The little boy ate the pickled fish, and then he went and a huge gob of disgusting green, yellow, thick snot flew out of his nose and onto the best matting of the floor. And the old woman was just about to sweep it up when suddenly the house was transformed around them into a beautiful, beautiful home. A home with tatami matting, a home with pictures on the walls, a home with sliding doors, a home with a kitchen, a home with servants. Well, from that day on, they did not look back. Every day they fed that little boy pickled fish, and every day that little boy sneezed so that more snot came out of his nose, and every day their estate was increased. It had barns full of grain, it had horses in the field, it had orchard, it had servants. They were dressed in fine clothes, and the local lord himself came to visit them, and their fame spread throughout the country. In 3 months' time, they had grown quite accustomed to their good fortune, and they were getting rather bored of feeding the little boy his pickled fish. And so one day the woodcutter looked at the child, who had remained filthy, dirty and revolting no matter how many times they tried to bathe him and wash him and change his clothes. It didn't seem to make any difference. And he said to the lad, "Well, see, the thing is, we're very grateful. We're very grateful to you for coming to stay with us, my wife and I. You've given us all of this wonderful, wonderful palace. You've transformed our lives, but, you know, we feel it's about time you went home again now. We're not sure that there's anything more that you can give us. So, there's the door. You know your way to the river, and goodbye and thank you." The little boy just looked at him silently with his big dark eyes, and then he walked slowly, slowly, slowly out of the door and towards the large carved wooden gate where the guards were standing. And when he got to the doorway, he turned round and looked at the old man with his big, sad, dark eyes, and he went, everything that had been there disappeared, and there was an old wooden shack, and there was the woodcutter in his rags with his wife, with just a little bowl of pickled fish between them, and the child was nowhere to be seen. Or she might.